Hello and welcome. I'm Celeste Creel. These are my pussy willows. I hope you enjoy them. Probably shouldn't have said that. So today we're going to be covering the topic of the effects of Reiki and how long they last. How long are you going to feel great? Maybe you're looking for a permanent solution and you wonder if Reiki is right for you, or possibly you had a session and after a period of time you started to not feel good again. You felt great and then you didn't feel great and you're wondering what was the point of that? Stay tuned. So we're going to talk about how long the effects of Reiki actually last, what determines how long Reiki lasts, whether or not healing can be permanent, and I'm going to explain, not in great detail, but as comprehensively as possible, what actually happens during a healing on the subatomic level. And later in the video, I'm going to share my secret sauce for how I stabilize, integrate, and anchor the healing session within a person's field so that when they go out into the world, not only does the healing persist, but it actually is in harmony with what's going on in their life and in their circumstances. So let's get started. So unfortunately, I cannot give you an exact, precise time that you can expect your effects to last. These depend on a few factors. One of them is the skill and experience of your practitioner. Not all masters are the same. A master certification does not necessarily equate skill and experience and power. In other words, that practitioner may be a Reiki master in that they have the certification, but they just got started and they're not really used to being a vessel for a lot of energy. The Reiki itself is wonderful in both cases and definitely healthy and good for you in both cases, but one might have stronger Reiki than the other. One has been practicing for a lot longer and also incorporates meditation into their daily practice, and they have ways of making sure that they are a fit vessel to contain an abundance of healing energy, whereas the other one, just got their certification and they're eager to help and, they want to help you, but they might have limitations within their own being for how much energy they can actually channel. Now let's talk about another factor, and that is the receptivity of the person being healed. What makes a person receptive to the healing energy a lot of times has to do with how relaxed they are, how much trust they have, and how much they have been asking their inner being to show up for them. The practitioner channels the energy, but the person being healed is asking. They're asking the universe, they're asking their higher self, they're asking for help. And the receptivity that they offer is congruent with how strong the Reiki will be. If you were dragged to Reiki, if you didn't want to do it, do you think it's weird? You don't want to tell the person, but you're just not into the woo-ness of it all. Chances are that healing might take a long time to actually penetrate your field. I have felt that before. I have some clients that have come in and I feel the energy flow the second I meet them. And I have others that I meet that take a while. Sometimes they have to fall asleep on my table before the energy starts to really flow because they have resistance. They're unsure, they're maybe scared, they're not sure what I'm doing, or they might just have never had Reiki before and they don't know what to expect, and they might be a bundle of nerves. Maybe they've been in traffic and it takes them a while to calm down. Hopefully your healing facilitator or practitioner has some modalities in place to relax you. I like to have a chat with my clients before the session. I have an amethyst crystal mat that heats up and really relaxes a person's mind and opens their heart and allows the healing to happen a lot quicker than if they were just laying on a regular massage table and I just started the healing session. Now, another factor is the seriousness of the situation. So if someone is coming to me to get energy healing and they have some kind of disease that they have been struggling with and battling, that's a situation where they will most likely have to come for subsequent sessions, because by the time there is a disease that has manifested itself physically, that means something has been going on in the mental body, the emotional body, the etheric bodies for a long time. So it's going to take a rewriting of history. It's going to take creating new patterns and integrating new ways of being, integrating light. It's going to take more sessions for these manifestations to happen in the physical realm. So I want to clarify what I mean by the subatomic field. Notice the word atom in the word subatomic. An atom is considered to be the building blocks of all structures. Therefore, any structure that's made up of atoms vibrates and has its own energy field. That's not woo, that's science. Follow the science, guys. This doesn't just apply to people and food. It's rocks, it's trees, it's everything. So despite everything having its own field, all these fields are connected and unified at the quantum level within each atom. So we're all connected through this quantum field of energy. And that is what scientists call the 0-point field. Reiki healers call it source or God or the Almighty, what have you. We're all connected to it. Reiki comes from this 0-point field, and it is administered for the purposes of raising the cellular vibration of its intended. So that means that a person can be connected to the subatomic field with Reiki, and Reiki can increase the vibration. And so when that happens, you imagine a cell, and as it vibrates faster and faster and faster, it starts to slough off heavier, denser vibrations, which, worry, sadness, anger, disease, those are all lower, slower vibrating things that literally weigh you down and kill you eventually. But once those slough off, the question that I want to answer is, will they come back? In other words, can you, get dense again? Can you lower your vibration again? Will your vibration just get lower after a few days once the Reiki's worn off? And the answer is yes and no. So it does depend on a whole host of things and your habits and your diet and your mindset and your emotional body, because we're not just talking about physical cells, right? We're talking about the energetic body, people. There's an energy body. More on that later. But what's really cool about Reiki is that the potential that was reached with the raising of that cellular vibration is permanent. So once you reach a vibrational state, that potential is with you forever. It doesn't mean that you can't lower your vibration again. Reiki is not trying to force you to stay high vibrational. That's not its job. It's always a choice. You have free will. But once you receive a session, you have a new vibrational state. You have a new energetic signature, a new pattern. And you can do some things in your own life to maintain that. You can keep getting Reiki sessions. You can engage in meditation and surround yourself with, nature and things of a high vibration, right? The goal is for the quantum leaps that you make once you have a session to become the new normal. That's the goal. The goal is not necessarily to keep you hooked into Reiki and to keep you having to go get sessions in order to keep your vibration high. It's to introduce to you the potential and the possibility and anchor that in, and then it's for you to decide. This is another reason why you have so many people that are, adept in spiritual study, who might have, activated all their light bodies and they're masters of this and this. They just have every spiritual accolade and they've done all the things. They've been to all the schools, but they're assholes. Because spirit doesn't force you to stay in a vibrational state. And if people want to excel too quickly, like the people that want to become Reiki masters in 3 months because they got their certifications on Udemy or Etsy, oh my God, don't get me started. Those people will get some access in a lot of cases to an energetic vibration, but it's at such a dissonance to where they really are in their day-to-day lives. Not in every case, right? But in a lot of cases, the desire is not going to circumvent where they are in their life, what their environment's like, what their job is like, what their diet is like, their self-talk. Who who knows what they could have going on in their lives that is working at cross purposes with these incredibly high vibrations. And when that happens, they will kind of gradually downshift to where is comfortable but still challenging to them, and they will have to do it all over again. So as promised, I want to let you know what I do for my clients to make this change as permanent as I possibly can. One of the main things that I make sure I do at the end of a Reiki healing session is I call in extra protection for people. So I'm a big fan of angels, and I like to call in Archangel Michael to secure a person's auric field. So the angelic kingdom is an example of beings that can interact with you. They can, whisper things in your ear. They can offer you some guidance while you're in a dream state or in any kind of meditation. They're a guide, but they're not a guide with an ego and an agenda, right? They're not your Aunt Mildred who, really wants you to win the lotto, and so she kind of pushes you to get a ticket. Another thing that I like to do for my clients is give them some grounding stones. I like to use boji stones or tiger eye, and I will emphasize grounding at the end of their session. If you're not into crystals, no problem. Just focus at the end of your session on their root chakra, right? Root chakra, crown chakra, because they work in pairs. So the crown will help them to open up to higher guidance, but the root helps them to ground that higher guidance. So just make sure you're doing a complete session or getting a complete session. It doesn't have to be from a healing practitioner, okay? You can do this yourself, but grounding is a really great way to integrate the healing. And when a healing is integrated, then your whole life is full of opportunities for you to make changes, and it'll be subtle, and it will be in harmony with you. It won't feel too far out or just unattainable. It will feel like the next logical step, right? It won't be something where you're just, thrown a huge curveball and you're like, I was feeling great because I had Reiki, and then this bullshit happened and I have no idea what to do now. That won't happen. You'll actually understand and understand what your responsibility is in that moment. And it'll seem like an opportunity instead of some challenge and you feel like the victim. So that's the gist of it, folks. I hope this video was helpful for some of you out there. And now I want to make a little announcement. I have a free e-guide to those aspiring Reiki students who are interested in getting some healing training, but they want to find a very legitimate situation and they want to make sure that they find a program or teacher that is the perfect fit for them. I have a little e-checklist, and the link is down below. You can go ahead and click the link and it'll take you to the place where you can type in your email and you get this wonderful guide that I wish I had, because it would have saved me a lot of time. And for those of you interested in training with me, you can also click the link for the next retreat that I have. I do some online Reiki classes, so if you're interested in an online session, you can click the link to see when my next available class is going to be. But I also am going to be hosting a Reiki training retreat and certification in Scotland and in Ireland, I believe, this summer. So if you're interested in coming on a retreat and getting your Reiki training there, you can also click a link below. All right, take care.